There is a way out of the chaos, the love addiction. You can spend your whole life, you could spend years, like this one woman that I talked to. She spent the past 6.5 years of her life with this man who still is not changing and still is not committing to her. She's accepting the breadcrumbs. She's starting to realize that she wants something different, but she's so afraid to let go of the relationship because it's an addiction. I talk to a lot of women that are addicted to a man. They feel like they're in love with this person and they can't seem to separate themselves from this person. It can be difficult for a lot of people to wrap their brains around that there can be something present called love addiction. The opposite of addiction is connection. So when we are truly connected to the moment, to reality, we are going to feel peace. We're going to feel grounded. But when we are addicted, typically there are feelings of anxiety. The feelings feel very manic, chaotic, up and down, unpredictable. When we're not in addiction and we feel connected, then it's consistent. Calm. Our nervous systems are not shot all the time. There were so many times in my life where I was addicted to someone, thinking that I couldn't live without this person. To think that you can navigate something like this, like an addiction, with just logic, it's probably not going to happen. When I talk to these women on the phone, a lot of times they don't even see that they're trying so hard to figure out the unfigureoutable. Like, you're never going to make sense of it. There's no way that I could have ever made sense out of this guy that I was seeing that decided that he was going to relapse on meth and then lied to me. What I knew I needed to do, which was hard, was to completely sever ties with him. That was really hard. I still had feelings. I was attached. Looking back, what I see is that I was in a complete state of limerence. I jumped into that relationship way too fast without discerning whether it was a good relationship for me or whether this person was actually capable of a relationship. And it didn't take too long to find out that this person was completely emotionally unavailable. Hence, he went back to meth as his coping strategy. There is a way out of the chaos, the love addiction, the obsession, the anxiety, the constant pining after a person who just not working. I was never capable of healing my own alcoholism, my own food addiction, my own love addiction. I came to the point where I said, "Uncle, I need help," and help came, and that came by way of me praying and a higher power coming in and giving me what I needed to be free of those addictions. In the same way that I help women, I know that I do not have the power to heal them from addiction. I can offer help. I can give them action steps to take. They need to do something different. To see different results in your life, you have to do something different. You have to think different. You have to be willing to do things differently. And part of that, if not most of that, is going no contact. You can be in a different place in a year. You can be unrecognizable to yourself. You can be in a completely different place, but it's going to require you to do some things that you might not want to do, that might feel really fucking painful. You can either keep doing what you're doing and be completely addicted to someone who actually isn't really wanting to be in a relationship with you, is not showing up. Do you really want this? Because you have a choice. Or are you going to go no contact with this person? Because if you feel like you cannot be without this person for 2 days, 3 days, 1 day, 1 week, you're addicted. This is an addiction. It's an addiction, not even necessarily to the person. It's an addiction to love. These are things that need to be healed to the core. And the only thing that's going to help, just like alcohol, is you have to remove the alcohol and heal. Then when you have been restored to wholeness by a divine power in your life, and there are signs that indicate when that has happened, and I know those signs, then and only then, you come up with a sober dating plan, an intentional plan, because you've changed, you've become a completely different woman, you're going to attract a completely different man. You go about dating differently than you ever have, very intentionally, very consciously, very slowly, to assess this person, to see if they are actually very good for you, compatible, ready for a relationship. And this takes time. Being in limerence, being in fantasy is going to just be a recipe for fucking disaster. Trust me. Even if it feels so good in the beginning. You're my soulmate. I love you. I've only known you for a week.